Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for Feasting on Agriculture, where today we're at Iverstine Farms Butcher Shop in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we're going to show you a cut of beef that you're probably not going to find in your grocery store, but has so much flavor. We're going to pair that with some Louisiana crawfish. It's a dish you will not forget.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oaks White is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, Ask Before You Eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, Beef, It's What's for Dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Think Rice.
Now we're inside. Galen, Iverstine, and Ben Blair. They're going to show us why it's so important to come to a local butcher shop. Because Galen, you have a lot of things that I'm just not going to find in a grocery store.
Right, we're bringing in a whole carcass, so if it exists on a cow, we can do it. But some cuts are a little more limited than others, just like you're going to see today when we cut this cut.
So Ben, what are we going to be cutting here?
We're going to cut a picanha, also called the sirloin cap.
That's what it looks like.
Yep, that's the whole thing. And inside of there is several different muscle groups, and there's one in particular that we're after.
What's different about this cut?
Yeah, so in the United States, you'll probably see it stay with the sirloin, so you'll see it on your sirloin steaks or on your roast. What's kind of unique about the way we're going to cut it today, it's a Brazilian style cut. You'll see it down there where they do like churrascaria and gaucho style grilling. What kind of makes it the picanha is we leave it whole, and we're going to leave that fat cap on it as kind of a basting layer. You can cook it whole like that, but today we're going to cut some steaks out of it.
That cut of meat, I mean, I had a picanha when I was in Puerto Rico for the American Farm Bureau Convention. That was one of the tastiest cuts I've ever had.
Yeah, it's super tasty. It's not necessarily going to be the most tender cut on the animal. It is from the sirloin, so there is a bit of tenderness there. But it's going to be super flavorful because it's coming from the hip pocket of the animal, so it is a muscle that's getting used. So what he's doing is kind of cleaning that bottom side up. There is a little bit of silver skin that you would have if you left it with the rest of the sirloin. So that's a benefit of pulling it off by itself. You kind of are able to clean it up and make for a cleaner bite by getting some of the silver skin and bottom fat off of it.
Yeah, that connective tissue can get a little chewy.
Yeah,
so
if it's not treated right, yeah.
Yeah, when you mentioned that this is a Brazilian cut,
Yep.
You get to travel a little bit and just went to Panama.
Right.
Tell me, like, you went to that mercado there. What did you kind of learn there?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how butchers make use of the whole animal globally. You know, just like this is a little bit different than an American butcher would do. What we saw down there is, you know, they treat the pork shoulder a little different than we do because there's not as much like barbecue culture. It's more of kind of cooking for the night type meals. So it's really interesting to see how they do it and get a little bit of inspiration. And then also, when we see customers come in who have a different cultural background, we can kind of give an idea of what they're looking for when they come in.
That's the amazing part about a local butcher, and you especially, because, I mean, you raised cattle.
Right, yeah, we come from a farming background, so we can kind of understand what it means for the farmer to market the whole animal and what that takes. We take a little bit of risk off of their end by able to take the whole animal and add value to every single piece of it.
And you're also in a unique position because you get to deal directly with consumers. What has that been like here at Iverstine Butcher Shop?
It's awesome. You know, on our end, getting to kind of put the perfect meat in front of them for the meal that they're preparing, and on our end as well, educating them on what it takes to buy from a whole animal butcher shop. There is a little bit of burden on the customer as well, but that's what it's going to take to be able to make these farms more profitable and more sustainable long term.
Well, it looks like, Ben, you got this thing pretty much broken down, huh?
Yeah, we got a few nice picanha steaks here. This is particularly fatty cow, so trim some of that fat cap. We'll use the render down for tallow. Those are ready for the grill.
That looks awesome. Well, you know what? If they're ready for the grill, are you ready for the grill?
Let's do it.
You ready for the grill? Yeah. We're ready for the grill. So after this, we're going to show you how we fix this up with some crawfish, and I'll tell you how it tastes. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. us here on Feasting on Agriculture. Galen Iverstine hanging around as well, and we've got our picanha, and now you're going to show me the right way to cook it, right?
Yep, exactly. So the main thing you want to do with any steak is try to get it up to room temperature as close as possible before you sear it. That way you can get your doneness in the middle without it being cold as well. So we've had this sitting out for probably 40 minutes or so. It's not cold to the touch, and it's ready to hit the grill.
That looks so good already.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep it really simple. We're gonna throw some butter down on the grill. Got it at about 425 or so.
Okay.
Got salt and pepper.
Salt.
That's it.
Keep it simple.
This is really
Keep it
great
simple.
beef,
Yeah.
grass-fed beef that is full of flavor. We don't want to muddy it up with too many flavors when we grill it. We have some other stuff going on it that's gonna add some flavor. Heavy, heavy salt, pepper.
And I notice you're using a griddle instead of a grill.
You can do either one. One of the benefits of using a griddle here is that that fat is not going to cause a bunch of flame ups on a grill, but you can grill it as well. Just be careful on it. So we're going to lay that straight down on the grill. We're going to start at meat side to the grill there. We're going to bring it up to probably around 128 to 130 internally because we're looking for about medium on this particular steak.
What is it about doing this cut of meat that you really like?
It's the flavor. It's got such great flavor to it. You know, ribeyes are awesome, and that's a really popular steak for the flavor. The benefit of this is it's all edible. You know, you don't have any gristle or any fat to carve around. That's 100% edible, almost like a New York strip.
You're like putting my steak game to shame right here. This looks and smells amazing. When you flipped it, the aroma just came right off.
Yeah, and that's just beef, salt, and pepper. So we can start getting our veggies ready over here in this pan. Hit that with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Get those browned off for our grit cakes. Yep.
Oh man,
So that's some nice aromatics that we're gonna throw in with some corn grits and jalapeno cornbread, and make a little fried cake with our Louisiana crawfish tails to go along with this steak. So we got a good crust on both sides here. So what we're gonna do is kind of go to that fat cap and start getting it seared up too, and getting it rendered out.
All right, you got the picanhas resting right here. Now we're going to move on to the crawfish cake, right?
Yeah, we're going to make a crawfish cake with grits and cornbread. Those veggies that you sauteed, we got them nice and browned and tender. They're going to go in. We've got, like I said, grits. We got some of our house-made andouille and some jalapeno cornbread.
Okay.
Simple dish. We're going to crack a couple of eggs in there, kind of as a binder.
Love the way he throws it. He hit the trash can just perfectly
I'm gonna try
out of
that
frame.
again.
I mean, it was just absolutely perfect.
So
2 points.
we're gonna fold all this together, get your yolks nice and incorporated. Yeah, we're gonna throw a few of these Louisiana crawfish tails in there, kind of chop them up so they incorporate well. Yeah, so a lot of times it's just better to do this type of thing with your hand.
Yep.
Kind of get a feel for it, make sure it's got the nice tightness to it.
So once you have it all mixed up,
We're gonna make just kind of little cakes with this.
and that's going to go where?
We're gonna go straight into the fryer with these.
Well, Galen, I think we're finally at my favorite part of the program, and that's where we get to taste.
Absolutely.
So,
See,
dude.
that's the perfect bite of steak. You get the right amount of fat, the right amount of lean, just salt, pepper, butter, and the chimney.
It's the flavor explosion that happened as soon as I bit into it.
Yep.
And
Try that cake.
Galen, thank you so much for letting us
Anytime.
come and invade your butcher shop and your kitchen. If you want to learn more about Iverstine Farms Butcher, go to our website at twilatv.org. And also, you might be able to find a few things about picanha there as well. And we'll show some clips of this guy right here in another country learning about meat over there. So we'll see you next time here on Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oaks White was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, Beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Think Rice.
That does it for this edition of TWILA. We hope you learned a little more this week about Louisiana FFA and all that we have to offer students across Louisiana. Next week, Avery and Kristen will be back here on set, and they'll have another great episode of TWILA for you. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. For all of us here at Louisiana FFA and TWILA, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again right here next week.